Hi there, traders. Now, I just want to give you an update of where I'm sort of directing things. Now, what I see, some of the stuff I do, it's very repetitive, right? More so for me, whether you guys are looking at it or not, I can't really tell. But one thing that I want to change to like the daily market insight is only send it out if something's happening or if something big is about to happen, right? Like the current setup here at the market, the North American session, risk on profile. We head into the Asian session, right? And it changes to a risk off profile. And you see that, you should see that very clearly if you understand what's going on, right? Spoon feeding you day in, day out is not good for you, and it's not necessarily good for me. But like that risk off profile, obviously the cryptos seem to be sort of humming with that. You can connect the dots and sort of work out what's going on. Now, what I want to do is be more informative. So when you do get an update, right, it's going to be something rather dramatic, which is more trend changing than anything else. You probably pay attention to it and go from there, whether it's a news item, a central bank, or a breaking news piece, right? They're the things that you need to be aware of, because at the moment, you know what's happening, right? And if you haven't seen it already, the market is coming back to where it was in the 90s, right? Central banks now back online, working very hard to sort of try and maintain or control inflation, using interest rates, using their speeches. We're seeing equities light up like a Christmas tree, flashing green or blue and red, or green and red, depending on what your colors are. And then now we've got the extra cryptos and everything else in place. So now we're coming back to a gorgeous market. You don't need to be spoon fed to say, hey guys, we're now got a risk off profile. You'll already see it. Right, so that's what I want to include from here on in is more important things, so you know when to pay attention or not. Outside of that, I would expect you to trade the opportunities as you see fit. Now, if you haven't already got it into your brain yet, Monday, definitely not the best trading day, if not the worst, right? Tuesday, it gets a bit better. Wednesday, Thursday, your primary days. Friday, it's the last saloon before you hit the desert, right? So it's the last stop shop. And if you haven't made cash, that's where people go. It's a bit of a graveyard for a quick fix, right? So you understand the cycle of trading. You understand the risk on, risk off profiles and where it can change from Asian session to the North American session, right? You understand probably a bit more around what's happening with the cryptos. I'm learning every day. Now, just connect the dots, look for the opportunities. If the geopolitical news, and this is what I was sort of doing yesterday, if the geopolitical news changes from being, say, China lockdown to no lockdown or a big release, that's going to impact a few things. Equity markets, if I just get that up, so commodities, so China's geopolitical equity markets would rally. You would get all the commodities rallying as well, and you probably get the risk off profiles coming off, right? And the safe havens for that matter as well. So you're going to be able to connect the dots, right? And shortly we'll be adding individual stocks, cryptos, and a whole range of other things for you to trade. So there's no lack of product. You need to work out what your best instruments are and then put your capital management to use, right? That's the key to it. All right, so that's where we are, guys. It's as I said, there's no need for me to do updates each day. If there's a big release coming out, right? Now, if I just come over to the main page, if the Fed, right, are talking, or if there's a Fed meeting or a big potential move on a central bank announcement, this is the stuff I want to cover, give you the heads up, my interpretation of what's already expected and what the potential outcomes could be. That's where you're going to get benefit, right? Now, if I'm spitting out the same old junk every day, I'd say more often than not, you're going to become desensitized to it. You're not going to listen to it or whatever. I mean, I don't mind if you don't listen to it, but I'm trying to help you, right? So that's what I'm trying to do. But I think by doing the same old rhetoric every day, it's not helping. You're becoming desensitized. You're just losing interest. So that's where we are with the daily updates. So don't think I've forgotten about you. I do watch the accountants. There's been a change of fortune. What I would be saying, and I'm going to start doing a few more support videos to get you sort of focused on different things, is the markets are behaving extremely well, right? I'll bang out a technical analysis video here in a second, just to sort of show you some simple techniques, which I've already done before, but to highlight once again, we need to build your confidence up, get your returns coming back in. Like, the best thing about what's happening right now is the US dollar trend is just giving back a lot of gains. It's not over. This is a recharge, but what it does is it's like a bushfire through the forest, right? Looks bad on the initial outset, but then it regenerates and rebuilds bigger and stronger. That's what we're building up for, a bigger dollar move, a stronger, clearer one. We'll be able to see it clearly because other central banks are now coming online. As I've been saying to you, it wouldn't be long before the ECB started talking about interest rates. They have. Christine Lagarde's already come out and mentioned that. And we are starting to see markets really like tune in. And you guys should be able to see it. If I just highlight the charts, I've been saying this, we're in a situation where the dollar, so there's no support here on the dollar index for like a couple hundred points. That gives, you should be thinking, well, that gives the euro room to come back. Sterling, and look at the potential moves here for the Aussie and the Kiwi. You can't even see the top of the Kiwi there. So you're looking at 500 points, 600 points there in the Aussie. It could easily squeeze, right? And that's what we're looking for. I mean, dollar CAD's always a bit of a dog's breakfast, but things like the dollar yen, right? If you're not aware of this and looking at it, you should be, right? This thing has been the biggest like gainer of the whole move, right? So when you look at opportunities, and let me just switch this back over. This is where you're going to use your stats, right? Year to date, look at dollar yen, 10.95% it's gone up, right? Compared to everything else. Sterling obviously been belted 7%, but this is where you go, holy cow, this is, there's some corrections here. Dollar yen has got to correct. And if anything, the Aussie only down 2%. You think that's the one out of the risk pairs, Euro, Sterling, Aussie, Kiwi, which probably catches up to the others, or the others catch up to it. So when I'm looking at and piecing this together, right, you're looking at dollar yen going, okay, it's up 10.9. Well, it started down here around 115. It's now sort of dribbling lower, right? What is happening here? Understand this, and I'll cover this in the next video, is basically the market knows the dollar trend isn't over yet, right? But still, it's dribbling lower. This is the perfect scenario for a long squeeze, right? Everyone sort of hangs on because they're like, well, we just got to wait a month and then the Fed will come back and they'll do some more interest rate hikes and the dollar will go up. Don't forget, those next two hikes are already factored in. So we could see a squeeze here if there's a geopolitical event or one key data release in the States will be enough to cause not a collapse, but a big shift, right? The trend still won't be over, but this thing could go down 10 cents, dollar yen, easy, right? If that goes down, the dollar goes down, you'd expect Euro, Sterling, Aussie, Kiwi to fall. So maybe the yen crosses aren't the pair, but dollar yen has got to be on your radar. And this is what you should be thinking about as you sit in front of the screens, not sitting there watching the price action and doing, and I know some of you are doing sort of 30 to 40 trades a day. It's mental, right? So don't sit and watch the price action. Look at your analysis, look at your charts, get up to speed, work out what's happening. I'm not going to spoon feed you, but I will be looking after you by making sure you understand where those big events are. I think that's more important to you than me telling you it's a risk on day, risk off, because obviously that can change throughout the course of the day. And you turn on and I'm saying, hey guys, it's in the Asian session, we've got a risk off profile. That could change later in the Asian day, depending on what happens with the equity markets, right? So that's just a bit of an update, a heads up of where I'm at. I want to help you more by giving you less, if that makes sense. And then I can sort of concentrate on your capital management, which, I've already sort of done some work there, but we can tailor that to each individual depending on your risk profile. All right, guys, just a bit of an update. Keep your heads up and let's charge forward. Cheerio.